So today I'm going to do my Q&A, and I thought this would be a fun video just for you guys to ask any questions that you might have about me. And I'm always talking about momming products and mom life and baby life, so I thought it might be interesting to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to just read all the questions and answer them for you guys. Okay, so the first question comes from Riva Elaine, and she asks, how did you and your husband meet, and did you hit it off right away? And then also, I'm gonna piggyback this question with one from Becca, who asked, how did you get engaged? So my husband and I met in college. I was 18 and he was 19, and we met freshman year, like our very first week there, and we hit it off right away. We started officially like going out about a week into meeting each other. So pretty much right as soon as I got to college, we met, and then we just knew that we were gonna be together forever. He gave me a promise ring like 6 months into our relationship, and then at 11 months in, we got engaged. So I was only 19, which was crazy to like a lot of our friends, like, why are you guys getting engaged already? But we just kind of knew we were ready to get married. We wanted to start living together and just becoming a family. So we got married. I was 20 and he was 21, and we've been married now for 6 years. So we just did it because we were ready, and we waited 6 years to have a baby. And we were still in college. We both finished school and everything. And then Becca asks, how did you get engaged? We got engaged at a hotel here in this area, and my husband got out and proposed on the balcony, and it was really, really sweet. He kind of surprised me, but I kind of saw it coming, and it was just romantic. It was just the two of us, and it was perfect. Next question comes from Morgan UL, and she asks, what was your career before Cal? And then Jen Crawford also asked, what was your career before becoming a mom, and how was the transition? So I knew this question would be coming. Before I had Cal, I worked as a buyer in apparel for a little company known as Bass Pro Shops, and it was so much fun. I worked there for 3 years, and I got to work with amazing brands like North Face, Under Armour, Carhartt, Columbia. So I got to do a lot of the buying I bought for all the Bass Pro Shops in the country and in Canada. So it was just a really cool experience. I really loved it. I got my degree in fashion merchandising, so that was exactly what I wanted to do, was to go into buying, and we were fortunate enough to have that company's headquarters here where we live, so it was perfect. The transition was actually pretty easy. As soon as I had Cal, I quit thinking about work completely. I never really thought about it anymore, and I don't even know why, because it consumed me for so long. Like, I just always was thinking about my job, and so then all of a sudden to not even think about it, that's kind of how I knew that I was meant to be a mom and not to be in the corporate world, at least for the time being. So it was pretty easy. I think someone wrote, what do you miss most? I don't know if I got that question on here, but someone had asked that. I think what I miss most are probably the relationships that I had with my sales reps, and the meetings and the traveling. Like, that was my favorite part, and just getting to buy things for the country and like finding out new technology and new trends and everything before it hit the market. Like, it was just really, really fun. And hopefully someday I'll get back into the fashion industry, but for the time being, I'm going to be home with my kids, and probably, I said kids, I just have one, but you know what I mean. Probably once I'm done having babies and they're all in school, I'll probably get back into the career world. Surprise, surprise, someone wanted to be on camera. Okay, next question comes from Crystal Phillips. Hey, what does your hubby do? How many kids do you want? And how did you decide on Cal's name? And then also Amanda Lynn asked how many kids we want. And also Stephanie asked, when is baby number 2 coming? So a lot of people want to know about future kids. I think you never really know what could happen, but I think our plan would be to have 2 to 3 kids. If we have a girl next, we might be done, and if we have a boy next, we'll most likely shoot for 1 more and maybe have 2 boys and a girl. That would be like my dream, and I think that's what my husband wants too, is one more boy next and then a girl. But we'll see. I mean, there's so many factors, you never know what could happen, so hopefully we'll be blessed enough to have 2 to 3 kids. So back to Crystal's question, what does your hubby do? My husband works for a trucking company and he is a fleet manager. So he's also at a corporate office and he manages a fleet of truck drivers and basically tells them what to do, where to pick up their next load, and just kind of manages them. He works pretty good hours, but he does have to go in early. He goes in at 6:30 every morning and gets off at 5 p.m. So he's there from 6:30 to 5, and then he works like 1 weekend day every month. So it's not too bad. I think we're pretty lucky for his schedule. He used to work, when he first started with this company, he worked like nights and all that kind of stuff. So he's worked his way up and he enjoys it. I think it's pretty stressful, but for the most part, he enjoys it. And Crystal also asked how we decided on Cal's name. So this is a fun one. He's wearing Superman right now. So when we were watching Superman, the newest movie, not the Superman and Batman one, the just regular Superman, it's probably like 2 years ago that we were watching it, and his name's Clark Kent's name is Kal-El from like his other planet or whatever, and David was like, that's a cool name, and I was like, yeah, it really is. Anyways, we were like set on that name. We were like, girl or boy, we're gonna name our baby Kal-El. And as it got closer and we knew we were having a boy, we were set on Cal for sure, because we just think that was like the cutest name, K-A-L. So we decided on Cal, but we're not sure if we were gonna do Kal-El or not. Like, it might be a little bit too literal. We didn't want him to get like made fun of in school or whatever. So we ended up going with Calvin, and that way we could still use the Cal part, but then it's still kind of like a common name. That way, if for some reason he doesn't like being called Cal, he could always be called Calvin. Okay, next question comes from Innately Homemade, and she asks, what are some things you wish you knew or secrets that would have helped you with late nights, feedings, and running on no sleep with a baby? That's a good question. I don't really know. I think she said 5 things. I don't know 5 things for sure. I don't even think there are any good secrets. I know when he was first born, what I did throughout the night is I would look forward to social media, or whatever kind of apps I had on my phone. I had a bunch of baby apps, and every night at midnight, new articles would be on there. So I think I used the What to Expect app and the Bump. And every night, the new articles would refresh for the next day. So I know I would look forward to getting on my phone and reading like the newest baby articles. So I definitely did that. I also would get on Pinterest and I would get on Instagram. So I think that helped a little bit, because then when he would wake up and during the night and wake me up, I would at least be like, oh, I get to read a new article, or I can look up. Are you taking your bib off? You guys, he just took his bib off. You are craziness. You need to wear that because you're drooling. So I think it's good to kind of have some things you like, whether it's reading or, you know, watching YouTube videos, stuff like that, kind of ready to go. So that way when your baby does wake up during the night to feed, you have something that you can look forward to, that you can do on your phone or whatever it might be, and kind of help you stay awake and get through that. And just like running on no sleep, there's really no good tips for it. Just especially in the beginning, just make sure you have some help. My mom was here, so she was able to take him and let me take a nap during the day. That was super helpful. And just know that it gets better, and you really you think it's gonna be so hard with no sleep. That was my number one worry, was no sleep, but it's really not that bad. Next question comes from Allison Bean, and she asks, what has been the hardest part of mom adjustment? And maybe like, what do you eat in a typical day? The hardest part of mom adjustment is Probably not having time to myself, which sounds super selfish, but you are always, your whole day and night revolves around your baby. You never can just like lay on the couch and just fully relax. Like that's one of the things, it's just, unless he's with my parents or with somebody and I'm not with him, I can never just like fully wind down and relax. I'm just always thinking about when he has to eat next, what he's doing, when he's gonna wake up, if he's asleep. Just your mind is always thinking about your baby. And so it's a little bit hard to just take a breather and relax. Like even when I take a bath, like I sit him right next to the bathtub and he's usually screaming the whole time. So I think that's the hardest part, is just to have time to yourself. Like I wish that I had that, and I know if I had gone back to work, I would get that time to myself. So since I chose to be a stay-at-home mom, you really don't get much time to yourself. So that's a good thing about going and seeing our family. We try to see our family as often as we can, because it also kind of gives us a little bit of a break from this little guy. Even though he's so much fun, it is nice to have a break once in a while. Next question is Alex Blinder. Do you have any fears about raising Cal in the world today? I have not even thought about that. I think, so I guess at this point, no, I don't. But thinking about it, like, yeah, everyone has access now to social media at such a young age. They all have, you know, phones. You took it, no, you didn't take it off again. They all have cell phones and they're texting, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's gonna be so many things that kids are doing that are bad that we didn't even know about back when we were kids. I mean, I had a cell phone at 13, but now I don't know. I feel like they get them even younger now, and like social media and all that. It's kind of scary. Like we didn't have, Facebook came out when I was in high school. So we definitely, and Instagram was college. So we didn't have that kind of stuff. But now it's like, if you want, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, there's just a lot of probably negativity in the world that your child's gonna come across, and I think it's just, you just have to try to be the best parent you can and just kind of go with it and hope that you can raise them right. Crystal Lee asks, what made you decide on starting up a YouTube channel? And I see that you show rentals. Do you own the homes? Or that you show, or do you work for a company? So what made you decide to start up a YouTube channel? I'll probably jump into this a little bit more in my, I'm gonna do that small YouTubers tag, but basically, I was watching Erin Williams when she was pregnant, and I had just gotten pregnant, and I knew a lot of people had done YouTube pregnancy videos. I just never had watched them because I had no interest. So as soon as I got pregnant, I researched it and I came across her channel, and she was just getting started with her YouTube channel, and I really like related to her a lot in a lot of ways, and I kind of thought, hey, I could do this too. And it would just be kind of a fun way to document what you're going through. And even now I go back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was a whale. And I had a lot of like terrible symptoms. So it's just fun to go back, and I thought, especially once having Cal, I would love to have all of the footage of him as a baby and throughout his life, just to go back on and look at, and you don't have to save any of the videos because it's on YouTube. And it is, you know, a little bit different putting your life out there publicly for everyone to see, but I don't mind. I think it's fun. I used to have a YouTube channel back in college for makeup and fashion, and I ended up deleting it because I felt embarrassed and awkward and stuff like that. So I wish I would have stuck with it then, and I decided this time I'm going to do it for myself, and I'm gonna stick with it. She also asked that, I see you show rentals. Do you own the homes, or do you work for a company? So I think I posted in Snapchat, and I think on one of my vlogs too, I talked about showing a rental house. My husband and I actually bought a house about 2 months ago for the sole purpose of using it as a long-term rental. and we still haven't found anybody for the house yet. We thought it was gonna be like a no-brainer, super fast, and do like a year lease with them, but so far it's been a struggle. So that's kind of been my job since my husband works full-time, as far as showing the house and reviewing the applications and doing all the process. So I'm like kind of going to be a landlord. Well, I will be a landlord once we get the house filled. So I'm excited about it because it should be a fairly easy job. We've done it in the past. The house that we lived in previously before this one, we rented that one out for a year. So that's our little business on the side that we're working on. My dream one day would be to own like 5 to 10 homes that we're renting out and kind of just manage properties. I think that that would be really fun and not require a whole lot of effort, hopefully. So we'll see. Last question comes from Brittany, and she said, did you have any experience with babies before Cal? No, I did not. I babysat when I was like probably between the ages of like 10 and 15 until when I was 16, I got like real jobs. But like between the ages of 10 and 15, I babysat, but that was so long ago, I don't even remember. And I can't believe people let me handle their children at such a young age. But I did that. Other than that, I don't have any younger siblings. I don't have any nieces or nephews. Well, I married into nieces and nephews, but even when we married, they weren't babies. So I've never really had experience with babies. So he's my first baby. And in fact, I never even changed a diaper. I mean, I guess maybe when I was babysitting, but I honestly don't remember until I had him. And so in the hospital, the first night, he pooped, and I had to call the nurse and ask her how to do the diaper because I couldn't figure out those tabs. I thought something was supposed to peel off and then they stick. I didn't know they were just like sticky, because they're weird. They're not sticky to the touch, but then they stick to the diaper. So I'm like sitting there trying to peel something off, and I'm like, this is not working. So I called the nurse and I'm like, I can't figure this diaper out. So no, I didn't have any experience with babies before Cal. So those are all the questions that I got, and thanks so much for asking. And I hope this gives you a little bit more insight into our life, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.